it helps to think about what has happened 50 years in the past as you try to envision what's happening, what will happen 50 years into the future. And if one goes 50 years back, you're looking at 1960, and at that time the car had already become the main mode of transportation. Most people sought to get around in a vehicle with an internal combustion engine and 4 rubber tires. That's not too different from the current status today. When we start to think about other aspects of how they get around and how they work, the way they communicate has changed quite a bit in that 50 years. In 1960, probably the main form of long-distance communication was through writing a letter that was probably typed on a typewriter. And if a phone call was done, in addition to being expensive, it was on something that had a wire to a base, and the base was wired to the wall. Now we all carry our cell phones, and we do a lot of communicating either on that cell phone by typing or through emails on our computer. If one takes one more step back and looks 50 years prior to 1960, you will see there was a similar revolution in transportation where we moved to the rubber-tired car driving on concrete highways from a rail mode, and in 1910 no one flew, and now that is also a very significant part. In looking at the perspective and looking forward to 50 years down the road, one can expect that there will probably be some changes that will lead to a society that we don't recognize, but one should also realize that in both cases the changes came in a more of an evolutionary than a revolutionary fashion. If one looks at telecommuting and how it is coming more or less of age now, you find that people are taking advantage of the ability to work from home or work from anywhere, but it's largely still on the basis of when they're working, they are working, they're just working somewhere besides the office. They are not changing their travel behavior too much. I think we will see work continue to get to be more and more flexible. And that is in terms of both the workspace, the work time, and probably in the work that is done. Probably the most visible alternative to conventional telework right now is results-only work environment, or ROW, where really the slogan is to do your work when you want, where you want, so long as the work gets done. That got started in Best Buy and is spreading to a number of other office-based environments. Certainly that doesn't work in an assembly line manufacturing type of environment. And in terms of construction or other site-based work, there won't be quite that same level of flexibility. But in the ability to administer that type of work, and those who are processing data, I was about to say paper, but it will be processing data, that will be the next leading edge. And given that that is a large portion of the U.S. economy now, it will lead to a change in the way a lot of people work. There are two areas where policy could create incentives to maximize the benefits from this, if you will, brave new workplace, a flexible workplace of 2050. The first is in creating the technology that will enable this kind of behavior. And that is, how can government, how can policy be used to ensure that technology is most available to the most people in a way that they want to use it, without choosing a favorite that disadvantages a significant portion of the population. The second area that policy can involve is actually in workplace rules and management practices, recognizing that a lot of the existing rules of hourly pay and people being on the job for certain hours in a certain place will need to evolve if the efficiencies are to be realized.